Right, good evening. Welcome to the 12 Man Podcast live on Facebook, on YouTube, on the Talksports Fan Network, and all the popular places you listen to your podcasts. You got me, Steve Jackson. I'm your host for the evening. Is that the right word, host? I don't. My mind's absolutely farted. Then I know is host the right word. Anyway, just thinking out loud. Got Mr. John Donovan with me. Evening, JD.
No, then are you okay?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you sort of still getting rehab? Are you progressing?
Yes, made progress. Made a big step today. It's funny saying big step when I'm trying to learn to walk without crutches again. It's funny. Well, it's not funny, but I actually stood without crutches today. So there you go.
Excellent. So
There's, we're getting
not
there.
not stand Boxing Day then.
I wish. I really do wish. I'd love that. But we're getting stronger. We are getting stronger. Let's say fingers crossed that I'll
Yeah,
be back in the North Stand as soon as possible.
good
'Cause I
news.
do miss it. I really do miss it. But we'll talk about how the atmosphere was on Saturday because it sounded really good. But before that, I was a guest. I haven't spoken to him since I came back. He's been too busy on the front line trying to win political votes. Mr. Jacob Jervis, even Jacob,
Evening, you okay?
good to you.
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Good. Right, so we're going to talk about the two games we've just had, Charlton and QPR. A very successful week for the borough. Gap closed on the top spot. Gap increased on the teams behind us, and then we'll preview the game at Bristol City, the last one before Christmas. So yeah, we're absolutely flying at the moment. But before we start, are we both all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really well. Had a good weekend and yeah, spot on. Thanks.
Good. Happy days. So Jacob, I'm going to start with you because, like I did allude to a little bit earlier, I haven't spoken to you since I came back, came out of my hiatus. My time away. Not that I enjoyed any part of it. Obviously, we lost the man you wanted in charge, number one, Rob Edwards. How did you react to everything that happened with Rob Edwards? Were you surprised by it all?
Yeah, I think I was a little bit surprised. Probably a bit calmer than some other people, but naturally disappointed. I think he did a really good job in the short spell he was here. I think Middlesbrough gave him an opportunity at a time where him as a manager, his stock was probably a little bit lower in terms of what it had been previously. He'd been through a couple of tough years with Luton for one reason or another. It felt he was building something at Borough. Felt like the fans were behind him. And obviously he's left to a team that are struggling. That they are pretty dire. It was going to be difficult to improve them. So I don't think he's probably made the right decision. I think he's probably made it emotionally and financial wise. Again, I'm not blind. I understand some of the decisions of why he would leave. In any other job, it's acceptable to move on to increase your pay for your family or for yourself, which he's probably done by getting a Premier League job. He was a coach there. He played there before. Again, I understand some people say, well, he only played so many games. But again, I always think if Middlesbrough offered me the job, bottom of the Premier League, and I was a Borough lad, but I was at Wolves and I was second in the Championship, I built something, I'd probably still jump over to Middlesbrough. So I do understand it a bit. I am quite frustrated about it, but it certainly helps when somebody leaves and you win 4 on the bounce. So it's not like he's left and we're struggling. And what I'm impressed with, though, obviously we'll get onto it with the new manager, but what I'm really impressed with is that he hasn't ripped everything up that was working. He's kept a lot of what was good, but built on it. I wasn't as worried as some people in terms of chance creation and goals scored under Rob Edwards as some people were. But I can't deny that Middlesbrough have been much better going forward in the 4 games with the new manager. So that's good to see. So yeah, disappointed, but I'm not dwelling on it now. Where we look like we've got the decent coaching. Obviously, time will tell whether he's he's the one. It's only 4 games, and you only find out how good managers are when it goes wrong. So we'll see.
Okay, there you go. That was quite a political answer. There you go. That's what that was. Very good. No, you're absolutely right. It's I think I've seen a lot of people say that he's left at the right time, which is really weird for someone that completely up sticks and ran at the first opportunity. But yeah, as I say, a few people have said that. So no, we haven't been left in the complete wilderness and a bit, going downhill. We've seen.
I mean, people might have been saying something totally different if Kim Hellberg hadn't made such a superb start. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's gone, it's history, and we've got a new man to get behind, and he's had a fantastic start.
Yeah, I mean, it's unique for a manager to come in a really good position. Again, I know some people were saying we were slowly getting worse or whatever, but we were still third in the league when Kim came in. So again, it's a unique situation. Usually managers come in because the team's lost a lot of games, so the manager's been sacked. Whereas I don't think he's had to do much in terms of lifting the mood of the place, because I think a lot of the players have probably been self-motivated from the fact that guy's left who was saying, we're doing fantastic, we're kind of together in this, and this guy's moved on. So there was probably a bit of stick 2 fingers up to him, and we'll go and win football matches and hopefully get out the league.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? And it seems like it's the whole manager is, Rob, previous manager, I'm not even going to say his name, was stronger together. New manager is, why wouldn't we be stronger together? It's like, why wouldn't we be? So it's just Kim seems very relaxed and laid back and chill about everything, even his interviews. I'm going to talk a little bit about something he said in one of his press conferences that really, really impressed me. Like, he spoke. It was only a 90-second clip, but it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. But we'll get on to that in a little bit. Start with Charlton. Obviously, John, you made the trip down to South London, south of the river. Good trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Flew down there. I didn't think we'd get there in time for a pub, if I'm honest. I thought we might have hit a bit of traffic, especially inside the M25. But no, we were in a pub for quarter past 5. It was absolutely spot on.
Oh, laughing. That is exactly what you're on, isn't it? It's, say, no traffic to get down there. Get in the pub, have a casual, social few, and then head yourself to the valley. Talk us through the game. Obviously, first half we were completely dominant for me. There was one tricky little spot where they had a shot for a penalty where I wasn't convinced myself. But 2 unbelievably well worked goals. I mean, we'll talk about the second half in a minute, but let's just start on them 2 goals. First one from McGree, second one from Whittaker. We looked absolutely different level to Charlton.
Yeah, we did. I mean, and if you look at the top class saves their keeper had to make first half as well, it could have been a bigger margin. I don't think we hit the heights of the whole game, but we were still very, very strong and very, very dominant in that first half. I'd have been happy with a 1-0 lead, but to score in added time at the end of the first half, just perfect. It sent everybody to the bar at half time in a great mood.
Yeah, it's an open bar as well, isn't it? At the Valley, I say I've been at the Valley a few times. Can't imagine it was the most welcoming of places for a pint at half time on a Tuesday night. It looked very wet and windy and not very, very warm.
It wasn't too bad, to be honest. It wasn't too bad. I mean, but I didn't get a pint at half time because the queues are huge.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Because as you look at the stand like that, it's all the bars are on that right hand side, aren't they? Just after the turnstiles now, aren't they? So, I've got such a good memory on though. Or I'm an alcoholic, whichever one. But I mean, I won't talk about the guy who scored the second goal too much because I'm going to talk about him a little bit later, Morgan Whittaker. But Riley's starting to get a little bit of time in the team now. Obviously, scored again Tuesday night. Are we starting to see him in a position where he fits in properly? I think that little partnership of Hackney alongside McGree, giving him the freedom. I think it's working, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the only thing that's hindered him in the past has been his injury record. But now that he appears to be free from that, he's shining, and he's putting in regular 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 performances, which is we all knew that he could do that, but it was just frustrating for us as Borough fans that it was such a stop-start career he's had with us because of injuries. But yeah, I'm hoping now that we can see the best of Riley McGree.
You're a point, you didn't know it. Very good. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's one thing we've always said, isn't it? He would be one of the best players in the Championship if he wasn't so injury prone. I think as soon as he gets on a good run of form or a good run in the team, so something gets picked up. Like, whether it's he had a horrible groin injury, hamstring injuries. He's had injuries in the last 2-3 years, which has really hindered him going forward. But the quality's never been in doubt, has it? Let's face it. He's always had something about him that's can be a step above what else is on that pitch, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've got a much stronger squad now. We've got more choices in the midfield area, especially with Alex Gilbert coming back into the fold, and obviously Alan Brown with us on loan. I just think we've got more of a choice now. So should the staff see signs of fatigue or any problem that might occur with Riley McGree, they'll just they'll give him a rest period or they'll manage him well. And the depth of our squad sort of allows us to do that. So yeah, I really do hope that we can see more performances like we have of late.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd like to say we made it easy for ourselves in the second half because we should have scored more. We should have put a third in the back of the net. But in a way, we did because George Edmondson scored in the wrong net. But I know they had a couple of chances, Charlton, because Charlton did really step it up to give it more of a bit of freedom about themselves. They just had a goal, nothing to lose kind of attitude in the second half. I suppose that's what Nathan Jones told them at half time. Just have a goal. There's no point, thinking what if. But I still felt, even if they got close that second, we could have hit them with a third. Is that how the fans felt in that packed away end?
Well, personally, I was comfortable with 2-0. I didn't see any threat coming from Charlton. I think all the work that Salisbury had to do was fairly routine. But like you say, they get a goal in 80 odd minutes, an own goal, and you start to then just worry a little bit. Anything can happen if they sling that ball into the box time and time again. Anything can happen. So the last 10 minutes or so were pretty nervy from my point of view. But thankfully, we saw it out. Come home with 3 points. Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. It was well-deserved 3 points, they say, especially for you lot travelling down. That way end was just about packed. It was noisy all night as well. There's a lot of compliments from the Charlton fans, especially for the minutes of applause before the game as well. For the fan that passed away, they say Norman Barker. So that was well received, and it was well done as well. But who was your man of the match on Tuesday night?
I'm going to give it to Morgan Whittaker. I scored in the decisive goal has swayed that for me. But there was some great performances. I think Hackney's going through a real run of great performances at the moment, and he sort of tends to be the one who most people pick out because he does so much with the ball. He's on the ball quite a lot because he's probably more creative midfielders. So it could have been him, but I'm going to give it to Morgan Whittaker for his goal on his right foot. Great finish, and that gave us the breathing space that we needed.
Yeah, there we go. No problem at all. Yeah, it was a brilliant performance. See, I'll talk a little bit more about Morgan Whittaker as we go through the QPR game now, because he is on fire at the moment. He really is. And we'll talk about Hackney as well, because like you said, he's going through a rich vein of form at the moment. He looks like one of the best midfielders in the Championship, and you can see why Ipswich put the money up for him in the summer, and you can see why he's been touted about as potentially teams looking at him in January and maybe even the summer with 18 months left on his contract. So,
from our point of view, he's done his valuation no harm whatsoever.
Yeah.
No club's going to get him for 20. No club's going to get it for 20 million now.
No, absolutely right. I remember saying that about Latte Laugh this time last year, that people said we won't get 20 million again for him again, and we did. So it's exactly the same situation. It's going to take a silly offer in January to get him, but if you can give us till the summer, which I'm sure he will, because we're in a hell of a position at the moment. Let's face it. So, right, let's move on to QPR, because I'll start with you, John, because we spoke last week and said the QPR would be a tricky team coming to us, because they are flying, and they did win again midweek. We said they had a tricky game against Birmingham at home, because Birmingham were chasing the playoffs just like QPR are. They got a late winner, which was a hell of a goal if you haven't seen it. What were you expecting on Saturday from a tough test? Was it a tough test from QPR? Because that's exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah, I did. I did think it was going to be a closer game, but as it turned out, that first 45 minutes from us was probably the most one-sided I've seen for many, many years. I know we scored 4 against Hull, and we were quite impressive there, but I thought we absolutely overpowered QPR in all departments. We were dominant from start to finish in the first half. Wow, we were absolutely brilliant. So yeah, my thoughts going into the game was that it was going to be a little bit nip and tuck for a while until we got a foothold in the game. But from that first whistle, we were right on it. It was superb display.
Yeah, that first half was. I mean, I've had the pleasure of standing with you, John, down in some poor men's away ends, and we've seen some really dominant, really unbelievable first half performances from Borough. But Saturday, I thought we were absolutely brilliant. I thought this couldn't get any better. They say it was back to front. I mean, you could even say that about the goal that Whittaker scored. I mean, I'll move on to that in a little bit, but is that the best you've seen Borough play for a long time?
Yes, definitely, yeah. Like for a 45-minute spell, yeah. I mean, one that comes close to it was when we thrashed Millwall down their place. I think that was 4-0 at half-time again. Yeli Vossen scored 3 that game. I don't know whether he got all 3 in the first half. I can't remember. But we were dominant, and we were just like clinical in front of goal. But on Saturday, we controlled the game. We won every loose ball. We were strong. We had plenty of movement. It was it was exhilarating, honestly. The words just sort of like come at me. I was really sort of massively impressed with how we played in that first half. Superb.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was. I mean, I couldn't be there on Saturday, which I'm still gutted about. I can't wait for the time I get back to the Riverside. I really can't. But watching it at home, I was sat here thinking, wow, no team could handle that. No team in the league. I don't even think Coventry could have handled how we were. Jacob, I'll come to you. How have you found Hellball so far?
Yeah, I think it's been good. Like I said earlier, I was a little bit worried that, as you do with managers, that they come in with their own style and everything that was good gets thrown out the window because of their own egos or whatever you want to call it. But he seems like a level-headed guy, and he spoke about building combinations and things like that before he builds his own structure. I think, again, I know some people don't want to talk about him, but I think Rob Edwards built a team that played more direct than we had under Carrick. When we did get in around the box, it was more slinging crosses in the box. It was more action, getting your shots off, getting the ball into wider areas, getting your fullbacks up. And I think we've kept that. I just think the fullbacks are in higher positions, which is allowing them to create a few more chances than we were. I think we're playing a bit more one-touch football at times than what we were. I think Edwards was a bit more rigid in terms of didn't want to lose the ball in the wrong area of the pitch in case we give a goal away. So I think what we're seeing now is a bit more speed with the ball. Like I said, a bit more one touch instead of three touches to ensure you don't lose it. And we all know one touch instead of two or three touches is the difference between someone being out of shape and being able to get that through ball in. So I've been impressed. And what I really, Saturday, I think the word I'd use is relentless. What we were very, very good at is we'd sling one ball in the box and we'd be straight on the second ball. There'd be in a block and then it'd be straight in the box again. We didn't really allow them time to breathe. I think the possession was something like 76 at half time or something to Borough, which is, again, if we were 1-0 down, everyone would have been like, well, that's pointless. But again, what I used to criticise Carrick for a long time ago is that we'd have a lot of the ball but without purpose. But this is possession with purpose so far, in terms of every time we get the ball, we're looking forward, we're looking for a forward pass. We're looking to get it into dangerous areas rather than just keeping it. What I've noticed is, yes, we're playing the ball out from the back a little bit more than we were under Edwards, but it's still right. It's to your centre back and it's straight out wide and then it's forward. It's not, we'll play it between the centre backs for 2 minutes. So again, I think everything so far is designed to attack from slow build up, but to really fast build up as well. We go from slow to fast very quickly. And I think that's what is catching teams off as well. So really positive so far for me.
Yeah, no,
we do. You did right, Jacob. That's one thing, and I said it last week, I think, on the podcast. That we used to be a bit slow, methodical, laborious. Is a word I used in our build-up, but now it's much quicker, much slicker, and there's so much movement and so many options available for our players. It's absolutely great to watch at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely right. That's a word you missed last week. Jacob, laborious. Great word. But no, you're absolutely right. I think we mentioned last week as well that we do have spells where we do dominate, and we are, like you said, we are relentless, and we do look untouchable at times, but we seem to drop off. I just dread the moment for one team where we just go, you know what, we're going to have this for 90 minutes. Because that one team will think, oh, Jesus Christ, we've been hit, because we could hit them for 5 and 6, whoever it is. It could be anybody in this league as well. We've shown it. Even in the last week, the last 3 games, we've shown how powerful we can be when we're really going forward with purpose. It's just enjoyable to watch. I've not enjoyed watching Borough as much so much in years. I really haven't.
Well, I asked. I just asked on social media. I just asked people, give me your one-word description of our first half against QPR, And I got some great words. Silver Fox on Twitter and PDB used the same word. They said we were sublime. Andres Braddock said it was an onslaught. Butter, unbelievable. Butter Sniper said confidence. Two people said we were unplayable. That's up the Butter Sedgefield and Neil Spofford. Lynn Pogue, we were unreal. Mark Rathbun. No, he said this is a genuine word, but he said fantabulous. He said that was genuine. I don't know. I've never used it. Graham Jackson, outstanding. And Davy Silk said exhilarating. And you know what? They're all right. It was such a dominant, enjoyable, exciting 45 minutes that the words they've used there, they're absolutely bang on.
I haven't used that word in years. Fantabulous. Wow.
Is it real?
It is a real word, yeah. Wow.
Right, okay. I thought it was like an amalgamation of two.
I think that's where it came from, but I think the more and more it got said, I think it did get introduced to the English language, as you say.
I'll have to ask Susie Dent.
But yeah, I can't disagree with anything that anyone said there. There's so many compliments we could pay the Borough for that first half. You know,
well, you just look at the two goals. I mean, the two first half goals were both outstanding quality. I mean, Hackney, he had 3 or 4 players around him. He just dropped his shoulder, moved inside, and then he played a pass that took another 3 of their defenders out of the game, straight into the path of Strelic. He still had a lot to do. He had to fight off somebody breathing down his neck, and a fabulous finish. That was a goal of immense quality, and like you say, the finish. That's what Strelic feeds on. You know, absolutely brilliant.
Well, that's what we mentioned again last week, wasn't it? You know, that's the kind of stuff that we're expecting Strelic to produce when he's in on goal. You know, that's the quality we purchased him for. Jacob, a quick ask you: what have you made of Strelic so far?
I felt from a little bit. I mean, in terms of some games under Edwards, the striker would probably have a bit of a tough day. You know, some games, you know, it probably were feeding off lower chances than we've been creating now. I always say good strikers create an opportunity for themselves, but they can't do it every week. I don't think he was very good under Edwards. I don't think the system, for whatever reason, was probably getting the best out of him. In terms of when he did play, I don't think his first touch was very good, and he just didn't really seem that involved in the game. So I think, I mean, again, you know, he looked decent in some of the international games, and everyone was quite excited when we signed him. I think he was one of them where he came in a bit late to it. Conway was kind of starting most matches under Edwards, and Strelic struggled to get loads of game time. Probably did have enough opportunity to do a little bit better, but I'm hoping it's a bit of a fresh start for him as well. And I'm confident, hopefully, he gets us 10 goals from 10 more goals from this point onwards, and we'll probably be in a pretty good position if he does that. So yeah, I think there's more than a player in there, which is shown through the finish on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely right. The finish was brilliant. I probably enjoyed the finish. But like you say, I want to talk about Morgan Whittaker before we move on to the third goal, which was a big goal, not just for the game, for the guy who actually scored it as well. But Morgan Whittaker, I've mentioned him a few times, JD. We're gonna move on to him. That's 6 in a row now for Morgan. We mentioned a couple of times last couple of weeks we've finally been back on. We said we're starting to get the money's worth out of him. We starting to see the real quality. I think when he starts putting it together as much as he is, and the freedom he's getting to play the football that he wants to do, that he got given when he was at Plymouth as well, I think we are starting to see the best of him now, aren't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's returned 6 in 6, like you say, and he's not going to scrap in midfield, or he's not going to scrap for the ball. He's not that type of player. But give him the confidence, which I think he must have by now. Give him the confidence and the opportunity, and he can score with either foot, particularly his left. That's his favourite foot. But a brilliant goal at Hull, a fantastic goal on Saturday. So give him the opportunity, and under the system that we're playing at the moment, when we're like running teams ragged, he'll get those opportunities. So yeah, I hope now that he continues to work hard and keep up this rich vein of form, because he's been a revelation under Hellberg.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing JD mentioned there, Jacob, was confidence. You can see he's got that as well, because he's playing with a smile on his face. When you watched him previously, like end of last season, beginning of this season, he didn't have that smile on his face. Now he looks like he's enjoying his football, and I think he looks like the player that if he's enjoying it, he's even more dangerous.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I think Whittaker's been pretty good all season. I've usually defended him in the games where even people have got on his back. I know it's like John said. I know it's not his game fully in terms of putting in tackles and things, but I do think for the beginning of the season, one thing we got more out of him this season is a bit more work rate, going back defensively. He was putting in a few more tackles, and it was never for the want to try. And I think you can always see the efforts there. Yes, there was some games where, like the Ipswich game at home. I mean, first half he misplaced nearly every pass, and then he goes and scores a goal, and we win the game. So I think that sums him up at times. He's a player with moments, but like John said, I think in the last 6-7 weeks we've seen a bit more of a clinical side to him, a bit more of a full 90-minute performance side to him, rather than just having a pretty poor 70 minutes and then putting one in the back of the net. So that's good to see. And like I say, I mean, let's be honest. It's about time, really. If we, I don't want to sound like I'm getting on him because he's done really well, but we paid a lot of money for him. And, we've had the discussions before, and we were due a run of form from him. So hopefully he keeps it up, because we've all seen that he can be good on his day. So that there's no excuse now for him to go 20 goals without scoring or assisting.
Yeah, absolutely right. I can't really add more to what he's both said. He's starting to put in the performances we paid for, kind of thing. We paid the money for him, and we were a bit disappointed at the end of last season with what he was giving us back. Value for money. Now it seems like we have paid that money, and we paid for a good reason. So long may it continue. But the big one was the third goal. I know it was a penalty. It was stonewall. There was no arguments. Even the argument. Go on.
Can I just take you back to the second goal? I mean, the assist, absolutely top quality.
From Sol, yeah,
wasn't it? I mean, we were told that we'd be playing it out from the back. That's Hellberg's sort of preferred style, and yet we get a long ball, a pinpoint accurate ball. Brilliant. To the feet of Morgan Whittaker. And from leaving Sol Bryn to hitting the back of the net must have only been 7 or 8 seconds. It was absolutely brilliant. Well, a great Sol Bryn, and no wonder all the players ran to him.
I was going to say, I think that's the best part. I would say all the backline ran to him and say Britton, Ayling, Joe. They're all running to him to say, hell of a pass, because it was a hell of a pass. It was very well controlled. To say kicked it from his hands as well. To have that low trajectory towards Whittaker, who took it in his stride really well. Obviously, shaped the defender up and placed it into. Well, I suppose it was towards the top corner, wasn't it? You say the keeper wasn't saving it. Another one where he's used the defender really well. to place a shot and keep you have no chance. But yeah, unbelievable from Bryn. His first. I love the fact that Borough pointed out it was his first assist. Bless him. Not paid for his assist.
Hey,
really good.
let's hope he gets some. Let's hope he gets some more and some more assist bonuses in his wage packets.
I know. I think he's going to have to start negotiating when he comes to the point of contracts. He has to put some bonuses in there for that. But yeah, third goal. Like I say, it was penalty. There's no point in arguing. But how big was it, JD, to give the ball to Tommy Conway? We know how much he struggles. Not for form, because he's still been doing what he does in games. Getting himself about, being an absolute nuisance for defenders, creating the space for the players around him. But you could tell in his interview after the game how much he was dying for that goal. And to get the goal, and you could see the relief in his celebration. You're thinking, thank God for that. I finally got myself out this barren run. I've got a goal under my belt. It was a pretty well hit penalty as well. But I say the big point was the relief that he actually finally got a goal.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we were awarded the penalty, lads around me on either side were saying, "No, give it to Tommy Conway. This would be the perfect opportunity for him," because he had the ball in the net in the first half, judged to be offside. He had a one-on-one in which he beat the keeper, but he was just caught by a QPR defender. So you just felt that, again, it wasn't going to be his day. But you could tell what it meant to him and also the crowd, because I think the third goal got the loudest cheer of the day when it hit the back of the net. Everybody was pleased for him. Everybody's relieved for him. And obviously, the fact that we stretched our lead to what becomes 3-0 is almost insurmountable was key. But yeah, pleased that he's got that barren run put to bed now, and he's got his old club coming up on Saturday. So I hope he takes a bit more confidence in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And just like JD mentioned there, Jacob, it said it was the biggest roar of the afternoon. It shows how much people do think of Tommy Conway, even though he's been in this barren spell of form, where he hasn't put the ball in the back of the net, where he's had the chances to do so. The biggest one, obviously, being against Coventry when it was 2-2. It just shows how much the fans actually do love him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can't ask any more from the fans. I think the fans have been very kind to him. I don't think all strikers would have got away with scoring 3 goals all so far this season, but he has been given that level of support by the fans. I mean, I've been very critical of him over the past 10 games. It does wear off eventually while he runs himself into the ground. Well, that's no good unless he scores a few goals. So he has to now go on a run. And again, it would be nice for him to hit double figures by the end of the season, but it's more than possible. He's got it in him. And like I say, it'll have been relief for him. You could tell the way the other players celebrated the goal that he's probably been struggling again since the Coventry miss, and obviously when you're a striker, and it's probably a bit of a lonely place if you're not scoring the goals and you feel like you're letting your team down a lot. So hopefully he kicks on now again with Strelec. I mean, we're now at the point where we could have both of our strikers both kicking on at the same time, which could be quite dangerous for opposition. So that's what we're hoping for anyway. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. I think they actually complement each other really well, Strelec and Conway. So I say they're building up a little bit of a partnership. So
yeah, we know that Conway can do it in this division because he's done it every season, hasn't he? Whether it be at Bristol City or Borough, got a decent goal tally. This is probably I don't know for sure, but this run of games without a goal will probably be one of his longest. But the penalty allowed him to get that monkey off his back, and yeah, now we can go on. We've got 25 games left. There's no reason why he can't get another 10.
No, definitely not. And we're at that important point as well. 2 points a game, which is a biggie.
Yeah.
I always look at 2 points a game. So we are bang on track for where we should be to get them promotion places. So everything just seems quite rosy at the moment. It's great. It's great to be nice and positive, isn't it? About talking about the Borough. Amount of times last season where we were just so disappointed by the lack of chance taken and opportunities missed, and we just seem to be, when we need to step on the gas, we step on the gas, and we put the game to bed if we need to. So yeah, it's brilliant to watch. So before I move on to next week's game, Bristol City, JD, I'll start with you. You're man of the match.
Riley McGree for me. He was so instrumental in that dominant first half. He gave us so much creativity, and he done quite a bit of winning the ball back as well. Because he mixes it when he needs to. And I was impressed at the work rate he put in that first 45. So yeah, he gets my vote as man of the match.
Okay. Jacob?
I'll give it to Callum Britton. I know he gave away the penalty, but for me, he's our sign of the season so far. I think he's really good. Hopefully, he'll be in the Premier League with Borough, but if we don't go up, I think he's more than good enough to play the league above. I just think he gives you so much going forward. I think he's like an old school fullback. Really, it reminds you a bit of like a Gary Neville type fullback. Can put a good cross in, but very rarely gets beaten 1-on-1. Very rarely makes a mistake. I know again people say give away the pen, but in terms of 1-on-1 defending, very rarely gives the winger much room or much time to get within the box. So I do think him and Alfie Jones in the defence this season have probably been two of the best signings. So yeah, I give it to Britain.
Okay. I mean, I will admit, Britain was my man of the match, and then you gave that penalty away. I was like, oh Jesus! It was just such a poor penalty to give away. You saw it coming, unfortunately. So my man of the match actually was Luke Ayling. I thought Ayling was brilliant. He seems to slot in a nice position in between right back and centre back, where he can go in between positions, especially when Britain goes forward. He covers that area really well. It's like we found a bit like, remember what Dijksteel played under Wilder a few years ago. He was in that position where he was just in between. That's what he reminds me of, and he's thriving. He's just aging like a fine wine at the moment.
Yeah.
So
if you take a look at the upgrade of our first 11 and the squad as well from last season, I mean, you've got to say that Strelec is an upgrade on that Iheanacho. That's a given, isn't it?
I'm an upgrade on Iheanacho. Never mind him.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. Brown, as opposed to Barlassa, that's an upgrade. Yeah, you've got Matt Targett. I know he's playing centre half at the moment, but when he's at left back, he is an upgrade on Engel and Borges. And you've got Alfie Jones, an upgrade on Rav van den Berg, who had a poor season last season. Yeah. So, as a starting 11 and also as a squad of players, we're massively better than the previous season. And it just goes, we're on 42 points now. We got 64 last season, so what's at 22 points to overhaul last season's points tally with 25 games to go. So yes, you can see that the team and the squad have been improved and upgraded and have better quality players. So this second half of the season is going to be it's going to be mind blowing, because I feel as though, well, I don't want to say how I feel, because I don't want to set myself up for a fall, but it's exciting times.
See, I want to hear how you feel now. But I don't worry, I won't push it. I know what you're going to say. That's the thing. I know what you're going to say. So, and to be fair, I think a lot of Borough fans feel that as well. That's the thing. We all see it, and we're all in exactly the same position. We don't want to say it out loud because we don't want to do what we've done in previous years and somehow manage to mess it up, and we fall at the final hurdle, or we fall and really splatter everywhere. I mean, John Murray's just come on and just said, "Go on, JD, say it." We all feel the same. There you go.
Well, no, that's it. I mean, I don't want to build myself up too much to be disappointed, and I do try to keep level-headed. I mean, I never round. I try not to round on players when they've had a poor spell. I'm still supportive, but I do feel like it's exciting times. I can't wait for the Christmas period and then go into the new year and just face all the challenges that we've got. Ipswich away, Coventry away. Big games. Yeah, can't wait. Looking forward to it so much.
Yeah, there's a big 2026 coming, and that is one of the motivations. I mean, I've got a big personal wise. I've got a big 2026 coming, but I mean, she won't mind because she's sat here as well. But this is a big motivation as well to get me back to where I should be and back up and running again, because I'm dying to be there for the running. I'm dying to be there. There's no better place. We've been there. We've experienced it. There's no better place than in them stands when it gets to them final 10, 15 games. Yes, you feel all the pressure. Yes, you feel all the potential pain that's going to come, but the excitement that could come with it, and the ecstasy and joy that you could get from that ending. There's nothing. There's not much that matches it. There's not much.
No, I mean, you look, the Boxing Day game sold out really, really early. There is a lot of excitement about. I would guess that the whole game will be close to a sellout. I don't know whether it will be a sellout, but it'll be close to a sellout. And like you said there, as the season gets towards the final games, and if we still lurking about the top two, the crowds will build, atmosphere will build, excitement will build. Yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. I'm just looking forward to it so much.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of the motivations for me to say, come on, let's get this right leg sorted and let's get me back in that stand, because a bit like what you were last season. You're starting to get back there and stuck into the middle of it. So I just can't wait to get back. I just can't wait. I picked a good season to have off, unfortunately. But hey, well, never mind. Right, we'll move on to Bristol City. Like you said, Tommy Conway's old team. They're in the mix as well, Bristol City. I know they obviously suffered defeats at the weekend, going down 1-0 to Coventry. Fair play to their fans, by the way. A lot of their fans boycotted the game at Coventry. Said we absolutely are not going to be paying that money to go and watch that, which is absolutely right. I mean, over £40 for a championship game is not right. I know Borough have some really high prices, but yeah, Coventry take the biscuit and the whole barrel, unfortunately. But last one before Christmas, JD. They said another tough game. Say another playoff contender, and another chance for us to really put another stamp on our automatic promotion hopes. They say 7 points clear already. We can just keep building the gap on the teams behind us.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a massive statement if we were to go there and win. But like you say, it will be tough. We don't have the best of records down there. I think the last time we won was 2020. So it's going to be in the league, that is better. It's going to be tough. But Kim's had him for a full week. It's I don't think he's had that luxury, has he? Since he took over the manager's role, he hasn't had them for a full week on the training pitch. So God knows what we'll be like. It could be incredible. Yeah, I go into the game full of confidence.
Yeah, I think we all do. I think it's quite strange going into games full of confidence like we all are. But you look at the fixtures. I mean, I'm under the impression now. I don't want to focus on other teams. I want to focus on ourselves. We can only be our own worst enemy now, because of the gap we've built. But you do have a little look at who teams have got. I mean, the big game on Saturday is at 12:30. It's Southampton versus Coventry. That's a huge game. That's huge. I mean, Coventry will see that as an opportunity to really put a stamp on this league, going 10 points clear before anybody kicks the ball on Saturday. I know obviously there's the game on Friday night, but it doesn't really have an effect on the top part of the table. But Jacob, is this the chance where you look at him and think, well, yeah, they may still be 5 points clear after that game at 12:30. It's time to really get stuck in and bring this back down to 2.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy everyone getting excited. That everyone should do that. I'm not, as you know, I'm a bit more miserable than that. So, so I think it's going to be a really tough game. They don't really concede many goals. A lot of their games are decided by 1 goal. We're going to have a lot of the ball. I think they'll probably have 30% possession or something. They're quite effective without having too much of the ball. Again, they don't score loads or concede loads, so I'm expecting a tight game. But obviously, the way we're attacking, you don't know. But on the whole, again, we've won 4 on the bounce. Whether people like we can't win forever. It's a really tough game. So would I take a draw? Yeah, some people might not like that, but I think it'd be a good point.
I mean, I get your point. Yeah, I do get your point. I would take a point now. There's been times where I've gone down to Ashton Gate and we've suffered some horrible performances, horrible results. But I do remember going there and putting on performances and winning. I remember early part of the season under Tony Pulis when Martin Braithwaite absolutely ripped them apart in the first half, and we put them to bed there and then. That's the type of performance I want to see now. Like you said, they are compact. They don't concede many. They've got a bit of resilience. I mean, they showed that last Tuesday when they came back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 with Leicester. Which, even though they're in a bit of a false position from where they should be, they're still a strong team. Leicester, to do that at home to them, it's we showed we can do that as well. Going to Leicester and getting the point. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be so tough. But yeah, I won't say what I fancy us doing, but I'll let you start. John, I'll let you start. Saturday prediction.
Right, I'll take a point, but I'm going to say 3-1 to Borough.
Take a point, but we'll batter them. All right, 3-1 to Borough. Scorer?
Yeah, Tommy Conway.
Oh, can you imagine in front of that corner as well? I just hope it isn't like last year when he did the whole that, and then we've conceded twice in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, we conceded twice and lost you, right?
Yeah, it just all went wrong. Jacob, I imagine you're going to go 1-1 here.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah. Scorer?
McGree.
Yeah, I'm the same as JD. Would I take a point? Yeah, I would. But I fancy us to win 2-1. I think we'll nick it 2-1. And I do fancy Whittaker to make it 7 in a row. I do. Back down in the southwest of the country, he's not very well liked by Bristol City, obviously from his Plymouth days. So it'll be one for him to maybe he can do the celebration in the corner. He'll get all the abuse that Tommy Conway did last year. But yeah, that's what I fancy. Before we go though, John, you said you wanted to ask us something, didn't you, about how we're looking at the moment?
Yeah, what would you lads say is the what do you think Hellberg has done to change the fortunes of the club? Because yes, okay, we'd made a decent start and we were still in third position when he took charge of his first game. But the run of results and the performances, what would you say has been, if you could pick out one change that he's made that's improved us? What is it?
I think,
Oh, Jacob, I'll let you start.
I think for me, it's getting other people closer around the ball. I kind of looked at the average positions under Edwards and the average positions under Hellberg, and really we'd have Conway kind of and the 2 10s, and that's all we'd have in some games up the top end of the pitch, and sometimes like a Silvera or Target or Britain would get up and put crosses in, but usually they were crosses from deep, and then they were kind of back into position. So I think the big thing for me is when the 10s get the ball, the midfielders are a little bit higher, so they can almost interlink with each other a bit more, and the fullbacks are much further up the pitch. We're playing a bit more of a risk and reward football. At the minute, we're getting the reward for taking the risk. Can soon change if teams tweak tactically to hit you on the break. But for now, he's been in too little time for teams to probably suss out what we're doing yet. So that's when the big challenge will come, when teams try and change things tactically against us. But I think that's a big thing, is we're more bodies around the box. And like I said, a bit more one-touch football and a bit more speed on the ball, I think.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, because I think we mentioned on last week's pod that we're breaking in numbers now. We're bringing the ball forward and there's 4 or 5 options in front of the man with the ball. Whereas before we didn't have that, have that at all. So yeah, I can fully agree with that point you made. Steve, you?
We're playing to everyone's strengths. Like, it's not square pegs in round holes, it's square pegs in square holes. We're putting players in positions where, one, they're supposed to play, and two, they enjoy playing. Like, no one looks out. I mean, obviously, you look at the defence. We've got a couple of injury problems, and there's a couple of players filling in, but it's not. They don't look like they're filling in. They look like they're in position properly, and I think that's helping our football. Like Jacob said, it's the flow of the football is faster, it's quicker, it's slicker as well. We just look supreme going from back to front. But I think to give the players the freedom to play in the positions where they want to play, like, for example, giving Morgan Whittaker that right-hand side of the attacking midfield, he loves cutting in. We all knew that. We all knew that before we bought him. We all see that when he plays on the pitch. It's probably why he doesn't excel as much when Bergsorg's on the pitch, because that's where Bergsorg tends to drag himself to. So it brings Whittaker a bit further in. But for me, it's playing players in positions that they just enjoy playing, and the formation complements that, and the relaxed atmosphere that Hellberg is bringing as well. Like, he doesn't look like he's a shouter, someone to get on players' backs. Like we've seen, like from Warnock and Pulis, which that's their managerial style. We didn't really expect it from Carrick, after speaking to him for a few times. He's very quiet, he's very, controlled and within himself. Hellberg just seems so relaxed and quiet and easy, and just lets everything flow.
I don't think he's as soft as Carrick was. I mean, I think at one point on Saturday I seen him absolutely screaming in the technical area when we had a rocky 10 minutes. So that was good to see. I think he's a bit more calm because he he seems like one of them that believes a bit more in preparation. In terms of everything's already kind of should have already been sorted, which it should under any manager. But I think he seems quite clear in his messaging, But I don't think he's a hands in the pockets, scratchy beard for 90 minutes manager. I think I do think he's got a bit of fight about him too, which is good to see.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I've written one word down here that I think he's given us clarity. I think he's given the players clarity of what he wants them to do. There's no ambiguity there. They know their role, and it comes into what you said there, Steve. That the people who are doing the job are in the right positions. And they've got a clear, defined role, and they know exactly what they're doing. Because I think he's very methodical. I think he's very thorough. I saw him at the end of the game against QPR, and he went over to Bergzorg, and he a bit like Pep does with his players. He went over to him and he put his arm around him and he was talking to him. Obviously, Bergzorg had a one-on-one with the keeper, but it could have made us 4-1 on Saturday, and he didn't put the chance away. So I think he was sort of like having a word with him, just saying maybe don't over elaborate or don't take too many touches. I just think he's very clear with players as to what he expects of them, and then know their role.
That's it. I think that's the exciting bit about him. I think that's what's bringing the best out of the players as well, because they are in roles in which they want to play. They're not being asked with half an hour to go. You don't fancy filling in at left back for us, do you? Like, not really, but I'll do it because you told me to do it. They're playing in positions where they want to play. They're in areas of the pitch where they thrive, and you can get the best out of them. And putting all that together is probably what's producing the run of form that we're on. We just look unbelievable at the moment. We absolutely look unbelievable. It's such a joy to watch. As I say, I've had some unbelievable games watching Borough over the years. As I say, some good times under Carrick, even Warnock, Pulis at times, you could say, Karanka, whoever it may be. But the identity of football that Hellberg's bringing just seems different. It just seems really different. The one-touch passing, there was a couple of passes we played on Saturday. We went from short passing in the midfield to spraying the ball right, bringing it back in, and then spraying it back left. I think Ayling did both balls straight out. It was in the first half, and I thought, look at the accuracy and look at the confidence of the touch when Target and Whittaker both got the ball. Look at the confidence that the boys have got. We really do look a different team. It's brilliant to watch. It really is brilliant to watch.
Well, the QPR manager was absolutely pouring over our performance, and he was saying they deserved to win. They were stronger all over the pitch. You sometimes don't get that honesty from opponents managers, but he realised, the game should have been dead and buried first half. To be honest, it could have easily been 4 or 5 in the first half. But he gave a good assessment, and he was really complimentary.
Yeah, he really was. As opposed to Nathan Jones, who thought they were well in the game and deserved something out of it, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous when he said it. Shows how deluded the man is. But there you go. So yeah, that's where we are. So let us know your thoughts. What do you think's changed under Hellberg? Send us a message. Put in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just let us know what you think. Lads, we'll leave it there. JD, thank you so much. I understand you got a weekend planned in Bristol.
Yes, we have. Yeah, going down to Saturday, staying Saturday night. So yeah, it should be good.
Brilliant night out, Bristol. If I haven't heard a story of you, if you doing karaoke and flares on Saturday night, I'll be very, very disappointed in you.
I won't be in flares. I might be doing karaoke somewhere, but I won't be in flares. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, that's last time we did it. Well, I was with you yourselves. Yeah, we ended up in Popwell as they call it. With a lot of Sunderland fans, so that was good fun. Didn't get home until 5 in the morning. So, yeah, great night out, Bristol. Brilliant city, beautiful city, really lovely. Yeah,
Yes.
go on.
No, I was just agreeing with you. It is. It's a lovely,
Yeah.
lovely city. Lots of bars. I think the last time we were there, you might have went to Pop World, but I went to see just some local band somewhere. You know, me and a group of others. Yeah, it's good. Very diverse.
Yeah, it was very diverse. I ended up on FaceTime with Leo as well, so not my proudest moment, but hey, oh. But there you go. So I'll tell that story another time. But yeah, enjoy your weekend in Bristol. Not only for
Will
the
do.
game, for your birthday as well.
Yeah.
So I know
Cheers.
that's coming. See, I've got a good memory. That crash hasn't done anything with my
Good lad.
memory. Jacob, thank you very much for popping on. Good to see you again. We'll let you get back on the campaign trail. And yeah, we'll definitely talk to you again really soon. And to you lovely people who listen to us, like us, comment, subscribe, and get involved. Yeah, thank you so much. You keep us going every week. So we'll chat again next week, where no doubt we'll have put in another brilliant performance, hopefully another 3 points, and yeah, we'll go from there. So arrivederci, up the borough, be seeing you, toodaloo.